Unnamed by Chris Travis. This audio recording was produced in 2010 by Christian Audio, which owns the copyright. No portion of this audiobook may be reproduced for any reason without prior written consent from Christian Audio. This production was recorded by arrangement with Standard Publishing and was originally published in English as Unnamed, copyright 2010 by Chris Travis. All rights reserved. Please visit ChristianAudio.com to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles. Unnamed. Unsuspecting Heroes Singled Out by God. By Chris Travis. To my wife, Lindsay, of all God's unsung heroes, she's my favorite. Introduction. Unnamed. God works primarily through everyday people. This is the only life that you are ever going to get on this earth. How's it going? Like you expected? Have you accomplished what you hoped you would, or are you still hacking away at it? Or have you decided to throw in the towel and give up altogether? Perhaps you were told that you could be anything you want to be when you grew up. If you just believed in yourself and worked really hard, you could be an astronaut, a rock star, or even the President of the United States. I'm not so sure that's true. I think there are variables involved beyond just confidence and hard work. I'm also not so sure it matters. There are deeper things, truer things. There are things that are more important than your circumstances. There are things that will last a whole lot longer. We make decisions with outcomes that matter so much more than any achievements, awards, job titles, or accomplishments. We can make a difference that will last so much longer than any name we could make for ourselves in this world. Most of the greatest people who ever lived have been forgotten. Don't believe me? How many people can you name who lived 3,000 years ago? For the truly great people, it may take 100 years for their memory to be erased. Some epic heroes stake out a name that people remember for 1,000 years. The vast majority of people, no matter how great, simply vanish from the earth. James, one of Jesus' brothers, observed in James chapter 4, verse 14 from the New International Version, "What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." Yet we all long for something more. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11 says, "God has planted eternity in the human heart." We want our lives to matter. We want to know that we've made a difference. We want our efforts to count for something. We want to be a part of something that is bigger than we are, and that lasts longer than this life does. But even so, as the rest of that verse explains, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. Everyday people. I find it fascinating that some of the heroes in the Bible are unnamed. God included in the Bible the accounts of dozens of these people. Though they contributed to God's story, their names, as often happens in everyday modern life, are not recorded. Some did very small things. Others performed outlandish heroics. An unnamed princess rescued baby Moses from the river. An unnamed young man saved Paul's life. Unnamed heroes participated in miracles, celebrated victory over entire armies, and surprised God himself with their faith. The Bible says in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10 from the New International Version, "Each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others, faithfully administering God's grace in its various forms." Each one of us, not just some of us, not only the great among us, not only those who are paid to serve in the church, not only those of us who make a name for ourselves. Each one of us is gifted by God. Each one of us should use our gifts to administer the various forms of God's grace.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?